Hello Shubham, my name is Pihu. I'll be guiding you through this interview for the position of Mern full stack developer at OI. This role requires a strong background in JavaScript, MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js, as well as proficiency in CSS/SCSS and HTML5. Before we dive in, I want to make sure you're in a quiet environment with a stable internet connection. Could you please tell me a bit about yourself and your background?
Sure, Pihu. So, first of all, thanks for this opportunity. My name is Shubham Rakhunde. I am from Akola district place in the state of Maharashtra. I have completed my graduation in 2017 from mechanical engineering. Then I worked at a GK Travel India Limited between June 2018 to June 2019. After that, I was preparing for the competitive exams. Meanwhile, I got to know about the Masai School, which is a coding school, offering me a course on a full stack web development for the 30 weeks. So I joined the Masai School in January 2022, and I learned the Mern stack at the Masai School. I got placed at Codicious Technology Private Limited in November 2022. I worked at Codicious between November 2022 to November 2023. Then uh, as at Codicious, I was working as a the software developer full stack, and I worked on the two projects at Codicious Technology Private Limited, which were both on the which were both on the Mon stack.
It's great to hear about your journey, Shubham. Your transition from mechanical engineering to full stack web development is intriguing. Could you elaborate on the projects you worked on at Quotations Technology Private Limited?
So at Codicious Technology Private Limited, I worked on the two projects. The first one is the Qt CMS, and the second one is a Qt AI. So on the Qt CMS, it is a application for the people who doesn't have the any prior experience with the coding. So with the CMS, the user can make the static applications, or the can generate the static web pages. So, and the site will that application will help in the user uh, to have the forms and the other different tags and to place the information on the web page. So on the code CMS part, I mainly worked on the front end part. So on the front end, I use the React.js along with the CSS and the HTML, and I have developed the reusable components, and I also design and develop the new screens. Then also I worked on the new features and the functionality on the code CMS. As far as the code AI is concerned, I worked on the front end as well as the back end part. So on the front end part, I also worked on the React.js, HTML, and CSS. And after that, the on the backend side, I worked on the MongoDB, Express.js, and the Node.js. So on the front end side, I developed the modular reusable components and the different screens. Also on the backend side, I worked on the AI services. So I integrated the generative AI services such as the Midjourney AI service and the Leonardo.ai services.
It's impressive to hear about your projects at Quotations Technology Private Limited. However, I noticed a discrepancy in the company name you provided. Could you please clarify the name of the company where you worked as a full stack software developer?
I worked at a Codacious Technology Private Limited. Pihu.
Thank you for sharing that, Shubham. It seems there might be a misunderstanding. According to your resume, you mentioned working at Codacious Technologies Private Limited. Could you please clarify the discrepancy in the company name?
Yes, it is the same which is mentioned on the resume, Pihu.
Can you provide an example of a project where you implemented both front-end, React, and back-end, Node development using the Mern stack?
Sure. So, Pihu, when I was at the Masai school, I worked on the project for the almost 5 weeks, which is called as the Shoes for Men. So, it is an e-commerce website which is having the shoes, different shoes as a data, as a products, and uh, I'm having the different categories of the shoes and the different with the different brands and the different ratings and the prices. So, as both the front end and the back end part I developed with the Mon stack. So on the front end, I was using the React and on the back end, I was using the Node Express and the MongoDB. So on the shows for men, when the user is trying to or user when lands on the home page, so user will have the firstly the access to the all the products. So user can see all the products, user can see the single products information, but user cannot add it to the cart. So firstly user have to register and log in, then only user can make the or add the product to the cart. Then after adding the product to the cart, user can make the or alter the quantities of the product in the cart. User can also remove the product from the cart. User then can check out to the checkout page, add his or her address of the delivery, then add the payment details, the card details, and user can make the or place the order. When the order is placed, user will be redirected to the orders page, where user will see that where the product is and what is the process or what is the status of the product or the orders made by the user. So orders status is like place, arriving today, or the in transit, or delivered. So these things, the updating the status of the order is done from the admin side. So admin can go to that order of that user and make the changes to that order, and those changes will be reflected to the user. Also on the admin side, I have added the functionality to add any new product or update the existing product, or the remove the product from the product list. Also, on the user side, I have added the functionality of the filtration and the sorting by price. So user can filter out the products on based on the category, brand, or the rating, or user can also make the uh, sorting based on the pricing part. So this is about the project which I worked on, and which is based on the Mon stack, called as the shoes for men.
It's impressive to hear about your experience in developing the Shoes for Men e-commerce website. Can you elaborate on how you ensured the security of user data and transactions within the platform, considering the sensitive nature of payment and personal information?
Sure. So when I'm saying that I'm having the registration. So in the registration part, I'm having the crucial information. Let's say the email ID, the password, user's first name, last name, and the uh, mobile number. So for the password, I'm on the backend side using the bcrypt for hashing that password. So the plain password I am not storing in my DB. I am firstly making it hashed. Then that hashed password I am storing in my DB. When user logs in, so that hashed password will be uh, converted to the plain. Then it will be uh, compared with the mail and the password, and then I'm making the user logged in. After making the login, I am also generating one token which is provided by the JSON web token. And if the token is provided on the front end, I am making the user authenticated, or I am allowing the user to go to the private routes also. As far as the transactions or the transactions data or the transaction sensitive information is concerned, so for that I'm not storing anywhere that information, so it's a dummy part for now.
It's great to hear about your approach to securing user data. Now, let's delve into a technical question. Can you explain the concept of test driven development and how it aligns with the Mern stack development process?
So test driven development, or in short we call it as a TDD, is an approach where we can write in the test cases for the developed code. So so that we can along with development we can also test out that developed part. So for that purpose we can use the Cypress, also we can use the Jest, or there are the different libraries also, or the packages available, let's say Mocha and all. So these things we can use to just ensure that when we are making the development part, we also have the testing part also along with that. So we write the test cases with the maybe Cypress or the Jest, and those test cases uh, we can test during the development part. So this is the test driven development.
Can you explain the concept of microservices architectures and how they can be beneficial in the development of web applications using the Mern stack?
Uh, so, Pihu, to be honest with you, I haven't worked on the microservices architecture, but as I know about the microservices, is it means that when we make the services in a very I mean in a or separately, maybe it have the resembles to the concept of the microservices, so that all the services not including in the one place we can differentiate them, and we can use them differently, so like that maybe.
It's important to have a clear understanding of microservices architecture, especially in the context of the Mern stack. Moving on, could you explain how you've utilized Redux in your previous projects and its significance in state management within a Mern application?
Sure. So when I learned the React, along with that also I use the Redux. So Redux is a just a uh, the third party library for the state management. So for the state management, previously we were having the context API, or we can use the also the prop drilling part. So without doing that prop drilling from one component to the from the parent component to the child component, we can have the Redux. So Redux will provide us a state which is or the a single source of truth, which is the store. Then uh, as I have added the Redux in my product or in my project, so that time I integrated it with the Redux. Along with that I use the React Redux and the middleware called as the thunk, so for the handling the asynchronous operations and the then altering the changes in my application. So the when I'm dispatching any method to the my reducer, so that then I am making the changes to my state present in my store. And when I want to get this the updated state from the store, I am having the use selector method from the React Redux, and with the help of that I will have that updated state in my component, so I don't have to do the prop drilling part, and I can directly access the my state from the Redux. So it will have the majorly approach, or it will have the majorly influence on the rendering part of the React application. So this is how I made the or this is how I use the Redux in my application.
It's great to hear about your experience with Redux and its impact on state management in React applications. Moving on, could you elaborate on your experience with integrating and working with third party APIs in your projects?
So yes, so when I was learning the Mon stack, so that time I was working with the third party APIs. So let's say there is a one API provided by the IMDb. So it is a API which we use to get the movies data. So and also we can have the our search query. So let's say I'm passing any name of the movie to that API with the particular endpoint which was there in the document of that API. So when I'm passing any title of that movie or something, so that time I used to get the uh, data from that API. So that time I was using the fetch to fetch the data from that third party API and to use that data in my application. So also along with that, I use the debouncing for optimizing my search query on that third party API. So this is how I integrate and work with the third party APIs.
Can you provide an example of a complex feature you implemented in a Mern stack application and walk me through the development process for that feature?
So when I was working, so that time I was having one feature which is the media management modal. So on that modal, I was having the different kinds of medias and the files. So there was the images, videos. There was a different files, the JS files, the PDF files. There was a docs files. So I have to make that modal content scrollable, and along with that scrollable functionality, I have to also load the data on scroll. So I had to implement the infinite scroll functionality. So along with that, when I am changing the or when I am the making the filtration part based on the media type, let's say whether it is a image or the video, so accordingly, so that time I use the filtration part with the MongoDB aggregation. So I was having my aggregation query on the front end, and I was directly passing to the my server. And on the server, it was handled by the MongoDB, and uh, the respective uh, output I used to have on my front end part. So it was having the three functionalities integrated with the one modal. So it was having the infinite scroll functionality. Along with that, it was having the filtration, and it was having the search functionality also. So when I am typing inside in my search field, I also have to filter out my data. And if I am changing the filter, so I also have to change the or the filter out the data according to the filter. And also I have to scroll the data, and along with that scroll, I also have to make the or I have to fetch the data from the server, and I have to display that on my modal. So this is the complex feature which I implemented in my Mons tab application.
It's great to hear about the media management module you worked on. Could you share an example of a challenging bug you encountered during your development process and how you resolved it?
So there was a bug when I was working, so which is regarding the date field. So we have the input type date. So in that, when we are specifying uh, the start date and end date, so in our drop down only we can select the dates between the start and end. but when we are typing in the date field, so that time uh, it was not able to filter out, or it was not able to add the date between the specific dates. So that time I first check that the user should not, or I have to restrict the user from entering the different date which is not in the specific uh, dates. So that time I customly build the functionality to, so that the user, whenever the user is typing in the field, so that time I'm checking that if the date is between the my specific dates or not. If it is not, then I am uh, disabling my button, and when the date is valid, only then I was enabling the button. So this was a bug which I encountered in my development process, and I resolved it.
It's great to hear about how you resolved the date field bug. Moving on, can you provide an example of a time when you had to adapt to a significant change in a project's requirements or priorities?
Sure. So previously we were using the React application, which was created by the Create React app, uh, and then we have to switch to the white. So when we change it to the white, so that time it was not allowing us to uh, change our file names extension from JS to JSX. So in the white, it was not supported to JS files. So we have to adapt to the JSX syntax for the files. And along with that, I when I was using the, or when I was learning the Mern stack, so that time I was having the different file structure for my project. But when I started working, so that time there was a specific uh, structure for the files. Also there were the specific code guidelines, so I have to stick to the guidelines which are provided by the organization, and the file structure which is provided, or the being used up there uh, in the project. So I adapted those changes, and I only followed the structure on and the guidelines which is provided by the organization. So this is how I uh, adapted to the significant change in my project requirements and or priorities.
Thank you for sharing your experience, Shubham. It's important to adapt to new frameworks and guidelines within an organization. Can you provide an example of a time when you had to lead a team or take charge of a project?
So I didn't lead a team or take the charge of the project, but yes, when I joined when in my previous organization, so that time there were only three people working on the project. So when I joined that time, two more people they were added on the same project. So in the starting days, I was the person who they were reporting to for any changes they required, or if they face any issue or difficulty while development part or in the development part. So I used to guide them regarding the process of the development, and how to make the changes, or how to commit the changes on the our code management application, and then how to make the PRs and all. So also when before starting on any new task, also I used to guide the new joinees about the approach which need to follow when we have to start working on any new task. So this is how I have some kind of uh, we can say that leading team experience and guiding them.
Thank you for sharing your experience, Shubham. It's great to hear about your guidance to new team members. Can you please share your notice period and current CTC, as well as your expected salary or any other benefits you are looking for in this role?
Surely. So, when previously, as I am not working currently, so there is no notice period, so I can join immediately. And as far as the salary is concerned, so my there is no current salary, but when I was working, I was having the CTC of 5 lakhs per annum, and I'm expecting anything around the 5.5 to 6.5 lakhs per annum for this role.
Thank you for sharing your salary expectations, Shubham. Your input has been noted and our HR team will discuss it further. Do you have any questions for me about the role or the company?
Sure. So could you please tell me about which kind of software or the platform you're using at your firm for the code maintenance or the maintaining the code remotely, and how the team is working collaboratively. Also, if is there any UI library you are using at your organization, and so which library you are using at the for the UI development in the projects.
Your question has been noted and our HR team will provide you with further information about the software, collaboration tools, and libraries used. Thank you for attending.